And I'd like to introduce Nick. He is the creator of Gazpacho, the app, and I will let him take it from here, share his story and his knowledge with us. Thank you, Nick, for
For
joining us.
sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Johnny, Frank, everyone who hooked it up. Listening to you guys talk, I hear you're all professionals. I'm wondering what it is I can tell you that, frankly, you don't already know. I think I've learned a lot building my app. I'll share it with you. Why not? So anyway, if you get a chance to check out Gazpacho on the App Store, you can it's like the cold tomato soup, Gazpacho. You can swipe through memes. It's kind of like a front end like Tinder, back end is like Reddit. So when you swipe right on a meme, it upvotes, et cetera, et cetera. So I got my start working in entertainment. I burned out after a couple years because it's exhausting. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, let me share my screen. Oh no. It's wanting me to do some, it wants me to do permissions to restart the app. So I'm just gonna talk. That's okay, my face isn't so bad, right? Anyway, so to me, the hardest part about building an app was the idea. Now, I know some people just like building for the sake of building, but for me, like having that idea was really, really important. And so getting the idea that was exciting was the hardest part. And I really liked Reddit, but I think my critique with it was that it wasn't mobile optimized, that I didn't think it was as fun as it could be. I really like memes, I know it's kind of easy to brush them off as just like, little pieces of images with text on them, but I think they're really how people communicate these days. And I don't think there's really a good app for discovering memes. So I had the idea, I had the vision, right? I knew it needed to have a front end like Tinder, kind of a back end like Reddit, really a meritocracy of content. And so what do you do once you have that idea? I didn't have an engineering background, but I've always been a bit of a geek. So I thought, why not I build the first version myself? I worked for a company that reimbursed tuition. So I joined General Assembly and did their Swift program. So I built the first version of the app myself. And I started showing friends, always really excited to talk about it. I eventually, once I had that version though, I kind of realized, well, the details matter, even though I had a working version of it, it really didn't pop. You could really just see its rough edges. And so I'm like, I really need help here. I need a professional coder. I need professional graphics. Through friends of friends, I was able to find people who would do these for equity, luckily. We eventually got a full version and we put that online. And then we get our next round of roadblocks. We're not incorporated yet. We really need to solidify our equity splits so we know who owns what. We need to open a bank account and start paying our server bills the right way. And we need it's just the proper way to do it. So I've never built a company before. Through some more friends, we talk to lawyers. We put together an operating agreement and build an LLC. Write down the equity splits, and now open a bank account. We get a credit card. Now we can pay our server bills on one card. We can buy technology when we need to, and we can run ads. Most importantly, they say all companies are innovation and marketing, and I hadn't really thought about marketing before, which was the next thing that we learned about, right? Which is that you can have the best app in the world, but nobody knows about it, then what's the point? And I forget the exact percentage, but there's some crazy number of apps out there that have never even been tried out, right? There could be the coolest app in the world that you don't even try out. So anyway, we incorporate. Thanks, Johnny and Frank, for that cash. So we take our first investment and we incorporate. And then we start marketing, and this is, another roadblock, right? It's like, how do you want to communicate what it is that you do? How do you put that in ads? Do you want to build a campaign based on brand awareness? Do you want to drive downloads? So we build a campaign, we build some ads for it. I talked to some people as to the most effective way to do this. they agreed that we should do Instagram ads. So we built some ads that run on Instagram and show the app, and people start downloading it. And then we run to our next roadblock, right, which is that people are downloading the app, but they aren't necessarily staying for as long as they like. They might download the app, check it out, and then not open it again for another month, you know. And to really get to a next level as a media app, you really need to, you know, get at least 10,000 monthly active users. And we just weren't going to hit that with, you know, where we were going. So then the question is like, you know, after we did all these, we solved lots of things along the way. There was the administrative component, there was the marketing component, there was the first version component, but now we were hitting retention issues. And this is where we're currently working on, right? Which is that we want an app that people will just stay on. So we added features that you know, are traditionally associated with good retention. Messaging, right? Messaging helps with retention. If you look at, you know, some of the most used apps, you know, Snapchat and Instagram, WhatsApp, or whatever, they all have components of messaging. So we built messaging built in. But, you know, yeah, we made some adjustments there to help with retention, adjusted the product a little bit, re-uploaded that online. And yeah, we find that it helps, but nothing happens overnight, you know. So now we're kind of in the iteration phase of you know, taking feedback, trying to find out what our users want, adjusting things, and then, you know, redoing the code, redoing the user interface, maybe redoing some of our algorithms, and just iterating until we can build a bit more traction. And this is, you know, it's hard because this is not my full-time gig. None of the people working on it is their full-time gig. So we can't iterate as fast as I would like, but at least we have a plan. And I think that's really, yeah, where we're at. So the challenge right now is just iterating at a pace that really satisfies us and satisfies our fans, and hopefully builds enough traction to take it to the next level. And that's about all I got right now. Thanks for listening. Do you guys have any questions about the app or anything like that? Cool. Well, yeah, no, it's thanks for having me. If you have anything you'd like to ask, I'm always here. I'll shoot my email in the chat. Oh, okay. Hey, Alan.
Hey there.
Yes.
I have a question. How did you go about finding the team to, you know, between the developers and the managers and the management team? You know, how do you go about finding those people?
Yeah, totally. So a mixture of just persistence and luck. For the coder, because I built the first version myself, I knew how to talk to engineers a little bit. I found actually the coder on AngelList. I'm sure you guys are familiar with AngelList. It's like angel.co. It's kind of like a Craigslist for developers. I put a job posting, which even though I didn't really have much money at the time, I was just described what the job was. And yeah, I met with one guy who was interested. I showed him you know, all the code I was working on, and he was like, yeah, sounds interesting. You know, he was a film student just like me. He also went to USC, so I got pretty lucky that I found him. Honestly, it was a lot of luck with the developer. I would not have a working version without him, probably. For the graphic designer, he was a friend of a friend, and yeah, no, I think it was just in the right time at the right place. I'm not gonna lie, I just got really lucky with those guys. And with the other thing I got lucky with was the lawyers who drafted the paperwork. I think drafting LLC with an appropriate operating agreement that let me do everything quickly. That was really good. So the lawyers, the product designer, and the coder, it was just yeah, a mixture of being really resourceful and saying please, and offering equity, and just a bit of luck.
Great, thank you.
For sure. Anything else? Anybody else?
Do you have any lessons learned for anyone who is interested in starting a startup or creating an app?
Sure. So I think you know, just just do it, right? It's I know like it's easy to say that, but I think I think the hardest part, I mean, I can only speak for myself. For me, the hardest part was just finding the idea, the thing that makes you really excited, because when you get excited, you show it to other people, they get excited too. And I think that's part of the reason why I was able to get so many people to work for just equity. You know, a lot of developers are told, you know, never, you know, work for just equity, because so forth. But I think the thing is if you you know, communicate passion, you make other people passionate. There's lots of people who are happy to not work for money. It's not like I was making, you know, any money with it. So yeah, I think it just find something that gets you excited, because you know, even if it doesn't lead anywhere, you know, huge, it'll still lead to the right place. It's not like I'm a millionaire as a result of this. It's just a lot of fun. I get to talk to some cool people, and I enjoy talking about it. So as long as you find something that you really like to do, and are excited to show people, I don't think you can really lose with it. Anna asks, how do you find investors? Yeah, so Frank and Johnny, who are on this, are my sole investor, and they gave us enough money to incorporate and run some marketing, pay our server bills. Not a crazy amount of money, but enough to get started. And this was another thing where I got lucky. And I'm sorry to keep saying I got lucky, but I really I did. I think you know, a mixture of just being passionate with the idea and talking to people, you get lucky, if that is the right word. But anyway, I posted my progress on LinkedIn and Facebook and so forth. And this was I was talking about a feature of the app, and Frank came upon it on LinkedIn, and we just started talking. This was when I uploaded the first version, but we hadn't incorporated yet. And so it was a really perfect timing there. He gave us the seed investment to incorporate, you know, get our copyright, start paying some marketing ads, etc. So yeah, just through networking. Thank you for those questions. Anything else? What do you, oh yeah, sure. My LinkedIn, let me just pull that up. No problem. Yeah, as much as fun as I have this, I'm just a normal guy. Every guys, I have day jobs. I'm not a developer by trade. I even though I did start writing, you know, Swift, and I have an understanding of code. I think, you know, to be a professional developer, you really have to love it, right? And I liked it. I didn't love it, but I really have a deep respect for people who do, because it's the only way to build some cool stuff. But yeah, I think you know, it's hard. I'm a generalist. I've worked at lots of different startups being a generalist, and it's a trade-off. I like that I get to work with lots of different departments and learn, you know, talk to many different types of people, but you really need those experts, those domain experts, you know, who do the graphics, who do the coding, who do the legal, who do the tax stuff. You really need experts to get things to the next level. Plans on creating more apps. Yeah, I think you know, it really just comes back to the idea that really gets me excited. I've had ideas that have gotten me excited, and sometimes that excitement wanes. Sometimes I just feel like times have changed a little bit, where it's like, now that, you know, I feel like there's a huge cultural shift now going on with COVID and everything, and it kind of goes back to the question of, you know, what you know, what does the world need right now? I think what the world needs has fundamentally changed in a weird way, and so I don't really have the answers there yet. And I think it's you know, I think finding that next idea will really depend on what, you know, we think is the next big problem to solve. I mean, obviously on the surface, the big problem is, you know, how do we get rid of COVID and coronavirus and everything, but how does that manifest itself in every other way of our society, which is affecting everything. So I'm sorry, that's a really roundabout answer. I would love to make more apps. I just, for me, I need to get really excited about an app, and I just don't feel that way about anything new right now. So we'll see, one day maybe. Anybody else, please keep them coming if, cool. Well, thanks everyone. Let me just put my email right here. Always feel free to shoot me a line, just to chat. We're all a bit bored these days, right? So thanks so much. I'll definitely hang out and see what you guys are up to in the future. So this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to hear success stories. All right,
For
so
sure.
I'm going to stop the recording.